Morning ladies, welcome to week 2 of our second lot of coffee and cards. So we've been doing this for 6 weeks now. So today we're going to go a little bit off piste, and we've got Magenta Madness sunflowers there. And the things you're going to need for this week are your coffee and card, card 2 Celebrate Sunflowers kit, a black ink pad, your stamp set. We're going to be using the big one here. Sorry, the light's shining on that. And then just your Magenta Madness pen from your pack. And so we're going to be doing some layered stamping. I do like this effect. So that we've got the stamp on the background, and then we've spotlighted it, or spotlit it, on the front of the card there. And then I've just done still got the instructions in the middle there, and so just done some second generation stamping of some sunflowers in there as well, leaving you plenty of room to write your message. Right, so let's get started. So I'm just going to pop our big stamp onto the big block so that we're ready to go. There we go, and then we need, you know that you're loved, obviously, you use any sentiment you want. And let's just see, so, no, that's the top of the stamp there. And I'm just lining that up with the edge of the block, so it's nice and straight. There we go. Right, so let's get stamping. Right, let's see what we've got. So in your set you've got the small piece, pieces that are going to layer together like that, and then you've 2 pieces the same size, one for the inside and one for the front. So we'll do the front first. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up this piece in the middle of the larger piece. Now if you want to temporarily stick that down, if you've got some temporary tape, you can do that, or you can use washi tape if you want. I'm just going to pop a note, a sticky note where I know I'm not going to stamp. Just to keep them together. I can find a sticky note. Can't believe how many sticky notes I have, and then when you need them you can't find them. Right, so here we go. Right, so I know I'm not going to be stamping this bottom corner here. So with everything lined up, I've just popped a sticky note on the corner there. Right, and we are going to go off the page, so we do need a piece of scrap paper, which I have loads of, because a friend of mine asked me to mark a GCSE physics paper, which was more fun than I thought it was going to be. So I have the answer sheets. So I am just going to use a piece of that so I'm not stamping onto my desk. So any piece of copy paper or grid paper if you've got it. I have, but it makes the camera look all a bit weird, so I'm not going to use that. Right, yes, I'm going to be going more off in those 2 directions really. Okay then, so you're going to stamp, ink up your sunflower stamp. You need to do it, as I say, they're not as juicy as our stamps, although I discovered that mine wasn't as juicy because it needed re-inking, so I have actually re-inked this one. You can buy the re-inker from Stampin' Up if yours is drying out a little bit. So make sure it's well inked, and then we're going to place it so that this corner is somewhere in the middle of the stamp. So you just line it up using the lines. Okay, it's not an exact art, but what you do need to do is actually put some pressure on, because there's a difference in thickness, because of the middle paper. You need to make sure you're getting as much ink on those borders there. So I'm really giving it quite a go here. But make sure you don't do it to the edge because you don't want a halo around. Okay, so I'm giving that quite a press on those areas. Okay, that should be enough. There we go. So you get this white area here, but of course that's going to be covered up by your Magenta Madness layer. And you can see on here where the ink hasn't reached the paper because of the difference in thickness. So we're going to do just the same again, but in this bottom corner. So again, lots of ink. Making sure you're really well inked up. And again, so that the middle of the flower is roughly round about the corner of the page, just doing it by eye. I'm going to actually do it a little bit further away because I'm not going to have enough room for the sentiment. So just bear in mind that you do have your sentiments put in as well. So you might want to put it a little bit further down. Or you might even want to stamp your sentiment first. Do you know, I think I'm going to do that. Just so I can see where I'm putting this. Don't forget, make sure it's the right way around. Well inked. And I'm just going to put it just there. So that's a bit further up and over than I did on my first one. Okay, so then I know just how much space I've got for this flower. So I think I came much further down with that one than I did on the waggle. The waggle is what a good one looks like. From a friend of my sister's who's a teacher. Right, so this one, because that one's quite far over that way, I'm going to do this one quite far over, but making sure I'm not going over the sentiment. And again, nice even pressure to get as much ink as you can on that border. So you can do this if you're working on a hard surface. If you are working on a stamping mat, it'll just scrunch into the paper. That's why the stamping mats really are for the photopolymer stamps, not for these. Right, one last go. There we go. Okay. Then while we've got the stamps out, I'm going to do the middle as well. I can take that off. So there we go. And then on the inside, I've just done the two little a big one and a little one. So what I've done here, I'm inking up again. Ink up your stamp. Stamp it off. And then, I think I'd like that corner there. Oh no, I think that's the bottom. Right. And then just stamp the corner there. Again, reasonable pressure so you're getting the image on. Just miss the edge of those leaves there. Bit too quick taking it off. And then you need the smaller sunflowers, but I didn't want the leaves to feature. I wanted it just to be the flower. So you need to put the leaves sort of off and up to one side. Okay. So again, inking up the stamp, smaller stamp, so you can take the stamp to the pad rather than the pad to the stamp. It's nicely done. So I put the leaves sort of up over that way. Stamped it off. To be fair, it looks fine if it's not been stamped off, but I do like the second generation that Memento Black gives you. It's a really nice grey. And it's a proper light black, isn't it? It's a proper grey. I do like it. Rather than with a tinge of brown or a tinge of blue, which have their places. But I do like this grey. So now I've got to get my thinking cap on because I haven't actually done anything with the envelope with this one. So I realised when I read my instructions there and couldn't find a decorated envelope in the back. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is just colour in the petals, and I've just done basic colouring with this one, so using the paintbrush end I've just literally coloured the whole lot of each leaf. So I'll just quickly get on with that. I'm just going to the centre. If you wanted to do the centre, I was thinking a nice bumblebee centre might look nice. So as I say, I'm just filling in all the petals. There we go. So we're nicely into May now, aren't we? Spring's properly on its way. So all the flowers are falling off the magnolia trees. Do love a magnolia tree. We have one in our garden and it didn't flower for years. It just had like one flower or two flowers, and then I suspect probably because it was old enough, but it was also the year we bought a star magnolia, and it was jealous. All of a sudden was throwing off all these blossoms. So we do, it blossoms from sort of early summer right through to autumn, and it's gorgeous. So, but what I really wanted was one of the ones that flowers through spring with masses and masses of flowers on. So maybe I'll find a space for one of those one day in my garden. Yeah. Love this magenta. It's a real fun colour, isn't it? It's so bright. Okay, so as I say, just gradually colouring in all these petals. There we go. And then the other flower. Because it's such a big flower, you know, it actually works quite well using the Stamparatus, because that's quite a heavy block to hold. So if you struggle with the heavier big blocks, it is worth investing in a Stamparatus, which I'm featuring on. Well, I featured rather this week on my Facebook live. Well, it's not live, it's Facebook. Start the week stamping with Linda. If you've not already seen it, I do put them on my YouTube channel as well, so you will find them on there. But I'm just going to do some stamping with, which I haven't recorded yet, as you can tell, because I'm talking in the future. Just doing some stamping with the Stamparatus. So you can build up images a lot easier, and also space images a lot easier, because it has movable plates, and it's really good for mass producing as well, because you get 2 plates with it, and you can buy more. So if you're doing, you know, sort of several cards the same, a lot of people do, you know, the same Christmas card for everyone. So you can just set your stamps up on your Stamparatus and just go. And you don't have to, you just interchange the plates, so you're not constantly realigning stamps and things. Great for wedding invitations, anything like that, where you're doing the same thing over and over again. But they really come into their own for the big stamps, definitely. Right, so we're done colouring there. We've got everything. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to colour the middle in. With Bumblebee. I'm going to try it out. This is the nice thing. I mean, sometimes I just go for it and just put things straight on, and other times, and because it's helpful because I've done this first generation stamping here, so I'm just going to colour quickly that bit in the Bumblebee, and then colour these few petals in with the Magenta Madness. I do like that. I think that works. It's funny how it's coming out a bit lighter on my paper than it is on the card, because the card's been specially designed to colour and stamp on. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for that. So we'll colour the centres in. I'll colour the centres in this time with the Bumblebee. And I love how the little dots just give you the shading. So you can just do, you don't have to mess about with alcohol markers, although that's fun too. But you can just colour it in flat. I do like that with the yellow in the middle. Okay, forgot, yes I have. So we'll just colour this one in as well. So as you can see, I did get this one quite low down, but I like it there. It looks just as nice. Just colouring over the black. So we'll need to come back and redo that Magenta Madness there. I've missed it. Okay. So there we go. So we've got a nice yellow centre to our own very special Magenta Madness sunflowers. Okay, if you want to join this group, and because obviously I put this on general release on YouTube, so if you did want to have a kit to do these with, then it is still available. Just drop me a message or a comment in the comments and I'll sort that out for you. So that, yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I think that looks really nice. I think I might follow that on the envelope actually. So that's going to go there, but we're just going to mount it on the Magenta Madness card first. So just getting the glue here, checking it's cleanish at the top. Okay, so there we go. It does flow much better now that I store it on my side. When I used to always store it on its tip, like in a cup or something, but then it could splodge out, particularly if it was particularly full. It would splodge out, so you'd end up with too much glue. But now I store it on its side, which I saw on a video somewhere. Now that I've put it against the thing, you can just see, don't know if you can see, just a little bit of white there. So I'm just going to go in with my pen and just fill that in so that it's yellow right to the edge. Okay, and then God's willing, yep, there we go. So that fits in there, a little bit over there, and you don't see any of the white gaps. So just remember you have two sides of the card, so if the gaps are too big, and check them earlier on, then you can actually use the other side of the card and do it again. I mean, you do have to press it down on these areas to get the ink to them. Of course, with the Stamparatus, you could take the middle away and stamp the top flower and the bottom flowers again, one at a time. Okay, so lining that up with each of the flowers, just getting them so that they are lined up. There we go. There we are. Yeah, I think I do prefer that actually with the yellow on as well. You see, it doesn't matter where you place your sunflowers, just make sure you've got room for your sentiment, or do like I did and stamp one, put your sentiment on, stamp the other. Right, so I'm just going to stick this on the front of my card. Okay, making sure I've got it the right way up. So, and then just place that down. Don't press it till you're happy. I'm happy that's pretty much straight. There we go. So there we go. So layered stamping with a spotlight technique. And then some second generation stamping in the middle. down. So I've had a bit of a bright idea for the envelope, going on from the Magenta Madness flower with the yellow centre, and I'm thinking probably actually we'll go for a just jade leaf as well. So I'm going to go back to the little stamp, and here's my beautiful Stampin' Up envelope. I'm really glad I've moved to these. They are really nice to stamp on. And because they don't have the big triangles here, you don't have as many lines that could potentially mess up your stamping. So I do like that. So I'm going to use the smaller one with the leaves. And again, just going to ink that up nice and thoroughly. And I'm just going to put that just on the front here. So it's just on the lip of the envelope. There we go. And then we're going to get some colouring done. See, I thought I was only going to use the Magenta Madness, which is why I'd only got that one out. I need the green as well now. So finish with the ink now. So I'm just going to do a little bit more colouring here. So again, remember the wide strip is your wide nib. So, and the other one's for writing. So I'm just going to do the leaves carefully, so I'm not going on to the flower. So the leaves in green. Again, just doing straightforward colouring, trying not to go over the edge. There we go. And then I'll do the centre again in the bumblebee. So just little circles all the way around the edge and then into the middle. There we go. And then the flowers. Oops, wrong end. Check first, Linda. So then just the petals. So doing the points. And then colouring in the rest. There we go. I've not touched my coffee. It's going to be going cold now. Okay. So I was enjoying a nice drink with my friend the other day in their garden, and her daughter's planted some sunflowers. I think she's done it at school, and it's a big debate, when do you plant them out? Because with all the weird frosts we've been having recently, you don't want to put it out too early, but you don't want to leave it too long because they need to get that taproot out, because once they've got that middle taproot out, that gives them the foundation to grow really tall. But if they don't get a chance to do that, then they're not going to thrive. This is years of experience of children bringing home sunflowers to be planted. Oh, crumbs. Quite a responsibility. Okay, so we're nearly done. So, and I know, you know, envelopes are going to go through the probably first thing to go in the recycling, but I think it is worth just spending a little bit of time. I mean, quite a few people, particularly if you're going to post this, are going to look at this. So it just sets things off that, look, I've got a handmade card. There we go. I think that looks gorgeous. Okay, so there we are, all finished. I'll take that away. So I'm very pleased with that envelope. I think that looks really pretty. And there's your card next to it. Okay, and there's if you just decide to stick with the Magenta Madness without doing the colouring in the middle. Okay, so while I'm on, we do have a product class this month, and there's still a few days left to book if I can get the thing out. I did mean to look at the date before I came on, and it is Saturday the 22nd of May. So today probably is the closing day for booking, but if you want to join our Party Pumpkins class, then you are going to be making these gorgeous little things. So these are the puffins on the stamp set, and I've used our pens from this class to colour them in as well. So we get a little box to put in 5 notelets. So, and these are the cards that we're going to be making. And you get to keep the stamp set when you're done. So I'm using the black that you've got already, and I'll provide everything. So that's £25. Yeah. And if you go onto my website, Linda Ellis at stampinup.net, then and go on my events page, then you can tick join on the class, and I will sort out your kit for you. I shall so that's the news. So as ever, I'd be grateful if you could do a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And the Monday's video regarding the Stamparatus will be up on my YouTube channel as well if you want to go and visit that, or it should still be on Facebook as well, so you can see what I did with that. Right, well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me this morning, and I shall see you soon. Bye.